take up writing as a career meant to choose simple living and high thinking back in the mid-90s. Sangeeta was more than happy choosing that, having grown up around a family that nourished her dreams.
When I started out with Society, it was the mid-90s, and my boss was Suma Varghese, and she noticed that foreign brands are coming into the country, so we are going to have to up the game, and we're going to have to invest in better photography and better, just work on better dynamics, put together a stronger package. So we did this very bold cover. It was an anniversary issue in 1994, and we worked with very talented people like Suresh Natharajan, the photographer, and T.V. Narayanan, who was from an advertising background.
A lover of Indian myth as a child, most of her fictional writing and her painting stems from that vast font of gods and goddesses she felt so familiar with.
As a writer, I think I resonate with Saraswati, not only because she gives you a sense of peace and a sense of acceptance and a sense of irony about everything that you see around you, but she also represents a kind of purity, and you will see that her life does not revolve around a male icon. So when you see projections of Lakshmi, she's sitting at Narayan's feet. But Saraswati, when I read about her, I was very amused to know that she, I believe, woke up and got up from her own marriage rituals and decided to just roam the world and be a free spirit.
Roam the world Sangeeta has, from India's Hyderabad to the Sindhi Hyderabad seen at the Hare Leela mansion in Hong Kong, from the exotic palates of the Burj Khalifa to the jungles and music of South Africa. But her real strength has been roaming into lives, elusive spaces in people's hearts and minds, entering their dreams and projecting their visions. Her book, Encounters with the Rich and Famous, is a rich tribute to 2 decades of writing, traveling, and understanding the way the world is changing.
It's really visually also a very different book from anything I've ever tried to do, and as you go through it, you will kind of relive a journalist's varied experiences. You will meet Maharajas, you will meet Maharanis, you will meet people who've struggled hard and kept legacies going, and I'm extremely happy that Hello as a medium has actually strengthened the position of Indian royals in India.
Well, Sangeeta, you've always had an insight into how royalty has progressed over the years and generations. I remember even when you'd come to Baroda, you'd done your research on the family, you knew the family history, you knew the family tree. It just helps open up to someone who has an understanding of, where we come from. And I think we had a lot of emotional topics which we, mostly the press tends to overlook. Small things about post-independence, dealing with a lot of issues that most of our families grappled with, and we touched upon all those things very sensitively, and we appreciate that.
The nice thing is that the love of the people has remained with these families. I remember one of the most amazing things that I heard when I was in Udaipur is that the paperwork and the systems are so flawless that now you don't really need to micromanage anything anymore.
Well, I've always been a great believer in administrating and managing the systems.
Right.
People come and people go.
Right.
And you can't really depend on people.
Your journey with Hello started with your becoming an MLA.
I remember you calling me up when
Yeah.
I was campaigning.
Yeah.
And every time you wanted to speak with me, there were drum beat sounds, there were all kinds of sounds which were coming in, and I had to terminate the conversation.
Yeah.
But I was very happy that you arrived, because you arrived the day I won.
I tried to do justice to the art from the region, the museums, the palaces, and obviously the family connections, family ties.
Chandari has been an intrinsic part of our family generationally, and my mother-in-law in the last over a decade, has been trying to revive that, to recreate the lost fabrics, the traditional weaves, which you see are depicted very beautifully in all the Ravi Verma paintings.
Equally fascinating was Sangeeta's encounter with the princess of the Kishangarh royal family, Vaishnavi Kumari, now wedded to the Prince of Gondal.
So inspiration, at our studio comes from different places and mainly take from traditional thought. Sangeeta visited us many years ago, and we done a few photographs in Phool Mahal, which is our hotel in Kishangarh. And it's interesting to note that we have a stole, a hand-painted dupatta, which is actually inspired by the architecture of Phool Mahal. So you can see it in the photographs that were taken then by the photographer for Hello, and in the work that we're doing now. So this is all hand-painted, and it's an inspiration of the architecture and of the style of art that is in and around Kishangarh. So we've had great rulers and patrons in our former state, in Kishangarh. One of them was Samvat Singh. He's also called the Poet Prince, and his pen name was Nagri Das. He wrote poetry in Braj Bhasha, in Punjabi, in Dhelvi, in Farsi, and in other languages as well. And he took inspiration from the environment around the city, from Bhakti of Lord Krishna, and of course he did have interaction with many, women of the court and the Mughal emperors and things like that. And we spoke about this in great length with Sangeeta when she'd come, and she spoke with my father, who's actually, he's an authority in this area, and she showed great interest in history when normally people feel, they take information very casually, but she really delved into the subject, very deeply, which was nice, because you feel that when someone comes and talks to you and wants to take an interview and is more interested in your history, in your ancestors, and goes deeper, you do feel a sort of connect with the person.
Having grown up on a diet of Bollywood tales in Hong Kong and Taiwan, and having interviewed the finest denizens from this world, whether it was the dignified Mr. Bachchan or the cross-continental Priyanka Chopra, the chapters in this section sizzle with celluloidal magic and ooze with the secrets of the stars.
I've always been fascinated by storytelling as an art form. And from the time we were children, we used to do the Satnarayan Puja at home, and my mother used to be reading these narratives. And obviously the narratives were didactic because they were trying to teach you what was right from what was wrong. But if you see the modern world today, we love stories. Why are we on Facebook? Why are we locked for 3 hours in a cinema hall? Why are movie stars the most powerful people around us? I think there is a certain magic, and there's almost a transformative power in a story. And if a story is adopted into your heart and soul, it will be there for you like a best friend. It'll always be able to guide you and inspire you. Very interesting that Indian cinema was going through a major shift. A lot of the old conventions of the plot were no longer existing. So you didn't have a heroine and a vamp. Now you had a woman who was real and who was capable of being as evil as a vamp, or as pure and virtuous as the standard heroine. So she was a far more complex character. I remember interviewing Shabana Azmi about the Hindi film Heroine when the Amul India show on Star TV was doing a tribute to 100 years of cinema. And Shabana Azmi spoke so articulately. She said, when you put a Dimple Kapadia in a police uniform and you give her a gun, and it's some kind of a rape revenge story, and she starts, dressing like a man and standing like a man and talking like a man, then she says you have none of the complexities of what it means to be a woman. Then you have just created a man out of a woman. With Hrithik, it was quite cute because he actually then called the office saying, I think Sangeeta is trying to meet me. And my office was going pretty nuts saying, well, Hrithik has called. But I did end up literally kidnapping him from a shoot that he was doing at Famous Studios, which was just at the end of the street where we were working. And we took him to Atul Kasbek's studio and we did this amazing shoot with him. And there was a whole comic strip kind of different expressions and different emotions. We just made him do about 10 different emotions for the camera. And I was quite blown by his talent because the photographer would just say happy, sad, disappointed, lusty, so he was just thrown words at and he had to emote. So I just realized that this is a supernova and the wings, and his first movie had just come out. So there's a chapter on Hrithik in my new book, which is even more lucid and even closer to reality. Here it was slightly more veiled. There were just small references to these interactions. But my third book, which is Encounters with the Rich and Famous, which is launching tonight, will actually show you the changes that were manifested over time in the way these men and women were standing, looking at you, talking to you, their confidence levels, how they evolved. With Hrithik, there's a very interesting juxtaposition of the first shoot he did with me where his body language was all closed, and then the recent shoot we've done with him where his arms are all expanded, like almost like a semi-Jesus, like an urban Jesus Christ.
And of course, meeting Salman Khan just weeks before he was nearly sentenced to 5 years of imprisonment was an unforgettable high.
A lot of girls want to know who's next on your romantic agenda, and they're dying to see you get married.
Why would they want to destroy my life?
Can we quote you saying, why would they want to destroy my life? Because 4 years ago we asked you the same question, but that time
I'm sure 4 years arguably you're going to ask me the
same question. Everyone's dying to see you domestic.
Why? I'm such a domesticated guy.
Yeah.
I don't leave my house.
Really? And you cook and like to keep a clean house?
Not that. It's just home. I like it. I like that space. I like my house. I like spending time with the family, with my friends, with my dogs. Yeah, I like that. And once you're tired, that old man starts
coming into the front forefront.
He just starts seeping into you.
Yeah.
And there's no place for the old man, You've got to delay that old man as long as you can.
Right.
And also that whole thing of getting tired.
Yeah.
You cannot, because there's somebody who's always there as an opponent, and you can never be tired. He always has to be a lot more tired than you are. So this whole thing, I'm tired, it's a loser's
mindset.
Well, I have interacted with Sangeeta, and her knowledge when it comes to the film industry, and obviously her quest for wanting to know more was really interesting. I've shared a lot of my anecdotes in life with her, and obviously her projection of women and men in the industry along the years is something that she's delved into through her book. So bend it like Sangeeta. This book is definitely going to make some great reading material, and I hope people enjoy it, and I definitely want a copy.
The world of fashion is a curious amalgamation of culture, history, gender meltdown, and expressiveness. The Indian fashion industry is estimated to reach a value of $141 billion by 2021 and is presently valued at $40 billion. In this book, one gets up close with seasoned and rising stars whose aesthetics Sangeeta has experimented with.
I think all my friends in fashion are admirable people because today we're so kind of surrounded by images that to become imitative is extremely easy. So in order to stay original, you have to be very, very open to influences from all over the world and then create your own language. So it's happening with me with words, it's happening in art with, painting and material, it happens in fashion with prints and silhouettes. So I think we're living in very interesting times. Tarun Kalyani and me once met in an art gallery where the Singh sisters of Britain were exhibiting miniature painting, and they work with very fine detail with squirrel brushes, like a brush made of a single squirrel hair, and they work with Camel India paints. So the beauty, the kind of attraction that people in fashion have towards painting, and people like me who do a little bit of everything also have towards art. So Tarun Kalyani and me have kind of had this very interesting conversation, an ongoing conversation.
I met Sangeeta for the first time at the Hello Races. This was a few years ago when I dressed few of the fashionistas from the city at the Hello Races in my billowy kaftans. She really loved the kaftans and that whole look and really appreciated my work. I remember she loved the fact that I designed for real women and I made them look effortlessly glamorous, and I think it was around that time that she started coming to the store and started ordering clothes from my collection. I got to know her better, which led to a special friendship, and I found her very spiritual, artistic, and someone who was sensitive to the good, bad and ugly of hobnobbing with the movers and shakers of Mumbai. And we often discussed the ethos of the city. I remember sharing with her my famous quote on Mumbai, that Mumbai city, if you are not rich, beautiful and famous, you might as well be dead. Well, Sangeeta, all the best for encounters with the rich and famous. I'm really, really excited for you. All the best and wishing you all the luck and love. Mwah.
So nice to have Sangeeta over at the Pune Fashion Week and for her to discover my style of fashion and my style of a collection, which is very, very modular. And that is something that fascinates Sangeeta. The versatility of the clothing, the technical detailing in every garment that I design and I make was something that really drew the both of us together. And we not only clicked off professionally but also as great friends. And you can see this going through, even through her house, through her art, through her books, that she likes things which are very, very modular, very, very versatile, very detailed in terms of the context in which they're made.
Many years of journalism, it's Hello, it's La Officielle, and there is Elle, of course, Elle. How can I forget Elle, of course? It's been 20 years for you, and I just wish you all the best and congratulations.
Congratulations, Sangeeta. 2 decades in journalism and definitely two more to go.
Sangeeta, I must congratulate you on your new book, Encounters with the Rich and Famous. And it's a great legacy after 2 decades of journalism. And I wish you well with the book. Like other royals also covered in the book, as you have done in Hello Magazine. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing it.
Congratulations, Sangeeta. I hope your coffee table book is a huge success and it's a great endeavor.
Please do support Sangeeta's book. The proceeds go towards saving the girl child and helping the girl child. So it's all for a good cause, and do support Sangeeta and her cause. Thank you.
Toasting a fabulous journey in any enduring way is also about toasting great teamwork. So say hello to hello. May the sun never set on this empire of creativity.